All right, this lesson is finding angle measures and identifying corresponding and alternate angles. So we're going to get right into it. You see the X? These are called vertical angles. All right, so when we see an X, we're going to know the opposite angles are congruent. So we have measure of angle 1, M, with the angle symbol 1 means measure of angle 1 is 132 degrees. So I'm going to put 132 right here. If I know that this is 132 and these are vertical angles, the opposite angle is also 132. Okay? They want us to find angles 2, 3, and 4. So even though I know that's true, I am now going to figure out these two. So I'm going to turn this because sometimes it's easier to see when you turn it on its side. That's a straight line, and there's an angle coming out of it, so that angle, angle 3 plus angle 2 is going to equal 180. And if this, whatever I find this angle, the opposite angle is congruent, and it's also added to 132 to equal 180. So all I have to do now to figure out angle 2 and 4 is to say 180 minus 132, okay? And I get 48. So that means angle 2 is 48, but so is angle 4. So I only needed to know one angle, one measure, to be able to fill in all the blanks for all 4 angles in that X, because vertical angles are congruent and supplementary angles, measure of 2 angles on a straight angle, the measure of 2 angles equals 180. Okay, so having done that one, here we go for number 2. Angle 2, measure of angle 2 is 67. That's 67, so that's 67. I automatically do the one that's opposite because that I fill in the blank immediately. Then I go back to 1 and 3. Well, I know that this is supplementary and this is supplementary. They have to equal 180. So I'm going to subtract 67. And I get 113, okay? So this is 113 and this is 113. And you just have to type in the numbers. It'll say measure of angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, or whatever angles. Angle 1, angle 3, angle 4, and you just fill in what you figure out here, okay? All right, then number 3, number 4, and number 5 are all the same. Measure of angle 1 is 46. So if angle 1 is, the opposite angle is also 46. 180 minus 46. 134, so angle 2 is 134, so is angle 4. 134 degrees, because 134 plus 46 equals 180, because that's supplementary and that's supplementary. Those are opposite angles, those are congruent. Next, measure of angle 3 is 111, which means angle 1 is 2. Then I just say 180 minus 111 is going to find us 2 and 4, because these are supplementary and these are supplementary. And that's 69. So this angle 4 is 69, angle 2 is 69. See how fast it goes? Angle 4, and I mean, you can use a calculator. I'm just doing the old fashioned, so you remember it's always 180 for supplementary. Angle 4 is 138. So angle 4 is, measure of angle 4 is 138. So that means so is 2, because they're vertical angles. And now I just go 180 minus 138. That's 42, so angle 1 and angle 3 are 42, and I'm done. I'm already done with half of the lesson. Now, the next lesson, or the next topic that we're going to be looking at, looks like this, okay? And I'm going to put my notes that I made for this, because it's all color-coded, and then we will come back to this. But first, I want you to be able to see my notes. All right, there we go. All right, so take a look at the notes. Parallel lines cut by a transversal. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the very first time that Alex introduces this, they don't even have parallel lines. They just have 2 lines that are kind of parallel, maybe, with a line cutting through the middle. What we can say is that these are 2 lines that are cut like a knife with another line, and we call this line right here a transversal. So it's two lines cut by a transversal. And look at all the angles that it creates. It creates 4 angles here and 4 angles here when you look at it. And if I were to cover up all of this, you would see that's an X. All right, so I've got vertical angles. I've got vertical angles here and here, here and here. I've got supplementary angles there, 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 and there. Okay, so just knowing about vertical angles and supplementary angles, that'll help us figure out things. And also, this line down here is like a clone of this one up here. I even have it color-coded. Everywhere there's an angle is, its matching or cloning angle is down below. So it's like these two lines have the exact same angles. These 4 are congruent and the same as these 4 angles, okay? So this is where we get into what's called corresponding or matching angles. Corresponding angles means that this angle here, I find its matching angle, it's in the very same place that this one is, down here in its clone. Those are corresponding angles. Those are corresponding angles. Those are corresponding angles. And those are corresponding angles. So there's a pair, there's a match. In this spot up here, right? There's 4 different angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different angles. This, find it down below, it's right there. The orange, find it. The pink, find it. The blue, find it. And that's what this is when we say, if they wanted us to identify corresponding angles, this is how we would do it. Well, angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. Angle 4 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding, and angle 3 and angle 7. I could not say that angles 1 and 3 are corresponding. They're not matching angles. I have to look down at the line below to find the matching angle for 1, which would be in the same spot 5. So it's never going to be, corresponding angles will never be found together off of this one line. You have to find it in the line that's down below. Okay? So when these two lines are parallel, if these two lines, they say they are parallel, then all of these that I'm looking at, the 2 and 6, the yellow, those are congruent. Can you see? You can tell that they're the exact same angle. And then these are the exact same, the orange, 4 and 8, exact same angle. Blue, exact same angle. Pink, exact same angle. So they are all congruent. So you have to know that. Okay? The other way you have to look at these angles, we also can name another set of angles. They're called alternate interior and alternate exterior angles. Okay, so again, there's the 2 lines cut by the transversal. Now, if I wanted to look at corresponding, I could find the same corresponding angles that we just looked at, but we also have what's called interior angles and exterior angles. The interior is everything in between the 2 parallel lines. All of the angles that are in between the 2 parallel lines near this transversal. So that would be 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are interior, inside the parallel lines, angles. Now, exterior are the angles that are outside of the parallel lines. They go out. So the 1 and the 2, those are exterior angles, and the 7 and the 8 are exterior angles. And then they go one more step. What we say is alternate interior and alternate exterior. So this is the way I've always described it. This is like a fence, and I've got some sheep on both sides of the fence, okay? And like this is the farm and this is outside of the farm. Okay, so inside the farm, on both sides of the fence, I got some sheep. When I'm looking at alternate interior, I'm looking at this sheep and then this sheep. Those are called alternate interior angles. Okay, so he's on the other side of the fence, and he's not right next to him, he's across from him. And this is also alternate exterior. There's only 2 pairs of alternate exterior angles on any figure like this, where there's 2 lines cut by a transversal. There will only be 2 pair inside and 2 pair outside. because just like 3 and 6 are alternate interior, 4 and 5 are alternate interior angles, so is the alternate exterior angles. So on the other side of the fence, not right next to, but on the other side of the fence and outside, that's a pair, and then this is a pair, 2 and 7. So we say angle 3 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 6, angle 4 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. And when these lines are parallel, then they are also congruent. Those are the same angles. Those are the same measure of angles. The blue are the same measure of angle, and the orange are are the same measure of angles. All right, so angle 1 and angle 8, right there and there, are alternate exterior angles, and then angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles. Okay, so alternate interior are inside, alternate exterior are outside. Okay, having said all that, now we'll look at this one first. And all they want us to do, all they want is to just give one pair of alternate exterior and one pair of alternate interior and one pair of corresponding. Okay, so alternate exterior, let's start with that. Here's the 2 lines, so that means this is exterior, okay? And it's alternate, it's on the other side. So for alternate exterior, angle 1 and angle 7 are a pair, but also angle 2 and angle 8. Now you only have to give one of those. I'm just showing you that there are 2 pair to choose from. Alternate interior would be all of these. And alternate interior would be 4 and 6. And there's one more pair, 3 and 5. And if you said 5 and 3, you'd still be right. It doesn't matter the order, okay? And the last is the corresponding. Now you have to remember, all of these angles have clones. These are the same. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to circle all that. 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. So I'll put angle 2 and angle 6. Okay, let me go out a little bit. All right, angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding. So you could have just said one of all of these. One here, and one here. That's all you have to do. I'm just showing you all of them. Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. And angle 4 and angle 8. And that's it. Okay? Now, the other problems, sometimes, look, they put the lines, the 2 lines, they're going up and the transversal's here. So I literally tell kids that have issues seeing this to just, hey, just turn your page. That's what I would do. So I'm gonna do alternate interior first, then alternate exterior, and then corresponding, okay? So alternate interior are here, 4 and 5, and 3 and 6. Okay? Now, alternate exterior are outside, 2 and 7. All right, and then 1 and 8. And I've just labeled all of them. You only have to label one for each type. Then corresponding, 2, 6, 4, 8, 1, 5, and 3, 7. Okay? That's all you have to do. You only have to pick one. Again, one from alternate interior, one for alternate exterior, and one for corresponding. Once you start getting this in your head, it starts to go a lot easier because your brain is getting used to it now, you know? All right, here we go. I'm turning this so it faces me. Now on a Chromebook, I understand it's gonna be harder, but at least for this lesson, I can continue to make it look easier to find everything. All right, so alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding. It's the same, okay? Alternate interior are from here, 2 and 7, and 6 and 3. Alternate exterior are outside, angle 1 and angle 5, and angle 4 and angle 8. Okay, and you can see, look, I used all of my angles. 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I used all the angles just in alternate interior and alternate exterior. And I'm gonna do the same now with the corresponding. I'll end up using all of them then. Angle 5, and then down here, its match is angle 7. Angle 5 and angle 7. If you can remember, this is matching, matching, matching. It's easier. Match it to the one below. Well, it has to be over here. It can't be over here, or up there, or even there. Down here, down below, 6 and 8. Angle 1 and angle 3. And angle 2 and angle 4. Do you see how fast it goes? All right. I mean, you're probably gonna finish it before I can even write everything, okay? Here we go. Same thing, alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding. Okay, alternate interior are right here, 2 and 7, and 6 and 3. Oops, I put that in the wrong spot. Okay, I'll fix it now. Alternate exterior, 1 and 8. And 5 and 4. Okay, and then corresponding, 5 and 7, 6 and 8, 1 and 3, and 2 and 4. And I put 4 and 2 down there. But the thing is, you still only have to give one of each of these types, okay? Only one more problem. You know, just to see if you can do it, because in Alex, you're gonna have to do it that way, unless you can turn your Chromebook screen. All right, we have to do alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding. Okay, I have to look at it going this way. I know all of these are interior. 2 and 7, 6 and 3. Outside, exterior, angle 1 and 8, and angle 5 and angle 4. The corresponding, matching this one to over here, would be there. Angle 5 and angle 7, angle 6 and angle 8, angle 1 and angle 3, and angle 2 and angle 4. And I just named all of them, and all you have to do is one. So that is it for this lesson.